Hey, Jonathan here, and those clips you just watched were my twin brother and I doing parkour. And welcome to the ultimate beginner's guide to learn parkour. So if you watch this whole presentation, you're going to learn the weird trick to taking drops as high as 10 feet with the same amount of impact as a normal person doing a jumping jack. We're going to show you the top training spots near you for getting started. You're going to discover the most common but most painful injuries beginners face when learning parkour and how to easily avoid them. We're going to show you the #1 shoe in parkour for training. And then we're going to show you, some other helpful guidelines to help you get started. And if you stay with us for the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why this couch is actually the key to you learning parkour faster than ever and without injury. Whether you think you're too overweight, too old, too short, or you don't have a background in martial arts, gymnastics, dance, or anything like that. Now, that might sound weird that this couch is the answer to all of your parkour problems for getting started, but just stay with me and you'll see why. Now, I don't know how long this presentation will be online, so turn off the Facebook chat, get rid of any distractions, sit back and watch this presentation all the way through while it's still available. Now, parkour looks like a discipline made purely for superheroes, extreme athletes, and adrenaline junkies. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's not. Every human has these abilities. They just have to be unlocked and developed. You too can be a superhero. Parkour is simply taking the body's natural movements and advancing them. Master parkour and you will be amongst the best all-around athletes in the world. So this guide today will help you get started in parkour. However, it will also help you with everyday physical challenges and can be applied to get the upper hand in other sports and disciplines. You see, my brother and I weren't always high-level athletes and professionals at parkour. And we certainly weren't guys you'd see on TV doing stunts for big companies. We had no background in gymnastics, martial arts, dance, or anything extreme. And there was no one to learn from. There were no gyms in our town to train, and when we searched online, most of the tutorials sucked or made us even more confused. And to make matters worse, I hated training in front of people. I felt like some idiot running around. I couldn't focus, and this would make me, mess up even more. And at times, it was pretty embarrassing. So we started researching everything we could over movement, how the body works. We took training methods from acrobats, professional soccer coaches, track athletes, gymnasts, Shaolin monks even, and anything and everything we could get our hands on. So it took tons of trial and error, but we finally discovered a shortcut system to learn parkour. And not just learn it, but get it down fast, safe, and without the fear of getting hurt. And to this day, knock on wood, I haven't broken a bone or gotten a serious injury from training parkour. And shortly after learning the system and training, our skills were so high that we got a TV commercial at the age of 17. We were super pumped. And now that's all we do. We perform stunts for big TV shows, commercials, consult for businesses, and teach people these methods all around the world. Even though I've been fortunate enough to see a lot of success with parkour, I'm really no different from you. I just found a shortcut to learning parkour that worked extremely well and trained hard. And I'll go over all the specifics of that shortcut here in a moment, but first, let's dive into my ultimate beginner's guide. So where are these amazing training spots for parkour? Well, here are the top ones that are most likely near you. #1, public parks. These are great because they provide a soft environment for you to work on basic skills. And they also have a lot of different obstacles to work with. And the great thing about public parks is that these are made for people to jump on. So it's a great spot to get started. The second place is college campuses and schools. Now these are great because they provide a wide range of different obstacles, and usually you can even find people to train with. Me and my brother have found a lot of great people that we've trained with now through training at college campuses. The third place would be downtown areas. Now some downtown areas are pretty sketchy, so you want to make sure you go with a group. But the great thing about downtown areas is there's a lot of different obstacles, and usually there's a lot of different public areas where you can readily train. Now, if you don't find anything there, check open gyms, meaning gymnastics gyms and cheerleading gyms near you. And sometimes they provide some really great open gyms that are inexpensive, and they provide with a lot of different safe obstacles and environments so you can train the basics and get them down. Now, if you can't find anything after that, be creative. You can also create a lot of different things just in your own backyard with simple boxes wooden bars and things like this to make your own training facility for training basic moves. So what is the #1 parkour shoe in the world? Well, here it is. It's your bare foot. Now that sounds pretty crazy, it kind of is, but the human body was naturally designed to run and take drops and do basic things with its own bare feet. But over time, we've worn shoes that have acted pretty much like a cast on the foot, so the foot hasn't been able to develop. Now, shoes are great for certain things, but if we're trying to build up our feet for parkour, it actually holds us back in a lot of different ways because it doesn't allow the foot to build properly and build the muscles to be prepared for parkour. So what we want to do is we want to start to build the feet. Now we can't just go out and start training barefoot because that's too hard too quickly and we'll end up injuring ourselves. So we need to take a gradual approach. So that's why when starting parkour I recommend 2 different shoes. The first shoe is a barefoot type shoe. Now this is a new age tactical boot and it's minimal sole. So this means it gives you the barefoot feel. And what you want to look for with your barefoot shoe is a really thin sole like this. So it's almost like you're running on barefoot, but there's a little protection. Something that's wide so your toes can spread out. And something that's flexible that you can curl up into a little ball. That means your foot can readily move around it. Now the next shoe that you want to have is for when you're going harder. Because with that one you're going to be working on technique. This is where the technique comes in. This one is going to be when you're trying new moves that you're not really comfortable with and you need a little extra protection. That's just a basic running shoe. Now you want something with a little thicker sole, but you also still want it to be flexible, like this. Another thing you want to look for is on the bottom, you want it to be flat. See how this one's flat and there's no plastic or grooves in here? That way you don't slip when you're going on rails and things like this. You also want it to be pretty wide as well. That way your feet can move around. You want it to be really soft and comfortable. So again, this one's going to be the shoe you go a little bit harder with. And this shoe is going to be the one you want to use most. And then you want to add in some barefoot training here and there. But you want to do this in a safe environment so you don't injure yourself. So here are the most common injuries beginners receive when they're first getting started. Now with all these injuries, usually it stems from these 3 things: improper technique, improper conditioning, or improper nutrition. So you always want to make sure you have those 3 things under control. Now the biggest thing that I receive in my emails are jamming joints, so jamming wrists or jamming ankles. And that means putting too much pressure. And usually this is due to overuse, improper technique, and improper conditioning. So what you want to do is before each workout or each training session, you want to do a proper warm-up. That means you want to slowly move the joints around and get them warmed up before you start going. This is going to help a lot. 2, you want to work on flexibility. So you always want to, after your workout, you want to stretch your joints. Flexibility is going to help a lot with injuries. And 3, you always want to make sure you're stacking your joints when you're doing vaults and things like this. This means that when you're doing, say, a speed vault, you want your arm to be completely aligned. You don't want to be off-center, because what this is going to do is put too much pressure on one side of the joint. And this is going to lead to injury. And then if you start to feel pain with any of your joints, lay off. This is your body telling you that you need to rest and that you don't need to keep going. The next common injury are knee capitations. Now this is where we're going for a vault and we clip our knee on the obstacle. This is a very painful injury and can lead to even more injuries when we land on the other side on our face. So it's really important that we avoid this. Now the simple way to avoid this is by using proper technique, and that's simply by lifting the hips. We want to make sure to get the hips up. This is what will allow us to give us plenty of room so we can clear with our legs. It also makes it easier to do the vault. Also, you want to check your surfaces, because a lot of times people will slip with their hands because they're going on a slick surface. The last most common injury is slipping on precision jumps. This is where we're trying to land precisely on an obstacle, either a ledge like so or a rail, and one foot slips and we end up gashing our shins horribly. This is a painful injury and a lot of blood can be lost by making this mistake. So the crucial thing is just having the proper technique. And that is, when we're first starting and practicing on precisions, we want to use this simple trick to perform this move correctly. And that is by just keeping the feet together. When we keep the feet together, it enables us to really know where our feet are, instead of having one foot a little bit further in front of the other. And that's usually what causes this mistake, having one foot in front of the other and one foot slips. So use this when we're doing precision jumps, and it'll help you avoid all injuries with precisions. Sounds pretty crazy, but it's really pretty simple when we break it down. So with a regular jump, our body's acting like a spring. We're landing on the balls of the feet, we're collapsing down, we're stacking our joints, and we're absorbing the downward force with our body. And if there's a little more, we can put our hands down to absorb more. But this can only handle so much. The spring can only compact so much before it can't handle anymore. And that's where we get injuries, when we're taking drops too high and trying to perform just a regular landing. So what we do is we do the parkour roll. And this is the secret to taking these big drops, is that we're going to add forward momentum. So this allows us now to distribute this downward force through a roll. So instead of just absorbing, we are now going to be performing a parkour roll, like this. And what this does, it allows us to distribute that downward force through our roll safely and avoid harmful spots like bones and things like this by using the proper technique. This is the secret to taking these big drops. It's the parkour roll. So think about this when you're going to your training and learn this move first, because you're using a lot in your landings. So this leads us to the couch. Now, why is this couch the secret to you mastering parkour safer and faster than ever? Well, I got this example from Ryan Ford. He actually used a couch like this to learn his pong ball. And let me explain. See, the arm right here is perfect for vaulting. And then you have the cushions on here for the other side. So if you mess up, it's no big deal. So when you keep learning the move, you're not going to get hurt. And you can work on this and drill it until you get it down perfect without getting injured. And see, this is the secret to learning parkour faster than ever and without getting injured, is finding things like this couch to learn these hard moves. Because parkour and learning it safely and efficiently is all about gradual progression. So we're going to start very small and then build our way up gradually. And we want to use things like this. And see, me and my brother were the kings of this. We found all sorts of weird things to make learning scary moves like this really easy and really fun. So that's a big thing I want you to take from this video, is that you're not going to be just jumping off buildings doing things like this. We're going to be starting low to ground and using safe things like this to gradually learn these hard moves. Do this and you will master parkour faster, safer, and have a lot of fun doing it. Wow, that was a lot of information. So what do you do now? You can take the guides I gave you in this video and try to find a local gym, get professional instruction, maybe find a local group to train with. You can try and find good tutorials on YouTube, or even try to learn your own. But I have to warn you, it will take a lot of trial and error. However, if you were like me and you're serious about learning parkour, then you want to learn it as quickly and safely as possible. And you won't want to waste hours sifting through videos online that may or may not be helpful. And maybe you'd rather have the option to train in privacy and whenever you feel free. Also, just to learn at your own pace. If so, then I want you to check out my ultimate shortcut to learning parkour. Simply click on the link in the description of this video to go to my Ultimate Beginners webpage and learn more about my ultimate shortcut to learn parkour. On this page, you will also find links to parkour gyms near you, parkour shoes I recommend, YouTube channels for great free parkour tutorials, and tons of other awesome resources to help you get started in parkour and find others in the community to connect with. So click the link in the description and start learning parkour today. Train safe, and I will see you on the next page.